I'm using one momentum to re-roll that.
Okay, complication range 3. Nice. And who are you hitting?
The Vulcan.
All right. All right. Roll damage. He doesn't have armor that you can tell. He does have a comm shield. However, once you roll, I'll tell you if it's actually. Okay, you've got to have a type 2. I mean, you're a commander, and you're on an away mission. You could say you brought a type 1 if you want,
Yeah.
but a type 2 would
That's
definitely
true.
be more useful. And go ahead and reroll
How
that.
many?
It's I think it's 3 plus your security. Your security
How
is
many
1.
dice? Yeah.
It's 3 plus security. Yeah.
So 4, yeah. So 1. See, that's a lot better. 1,
Okay,
2,
yeah.
3, 4. Which I guess technically a type 1 would be also 3 plus security, right?
I don't
Or is it 2?
think so. I think it should be 2.
I have the frickin'.
No, I think it's 3.
Look it up.
I think it is 3 because I think it's like fists are 1, knives
Yeah.
are 2, and then it's I think 3 or 5. I'm gonna look it up. I've got the book here.
Yeah, phaser type 1 is 2. That is weird. Because I know they blew up an alien monster one time with a type 1, so I'm pretty sure that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take the second one just because it's better. 1, 2, 3, 4. What effect do you want to put on it? Let me look up effects because I don't remember them all off the top of my head. Come on, book.
I'm stunning.
Okay,
Somebody.
I get that, but there's like effects. Okay, so hidden. Oh no, that's for the type 2. Take away the hidden part from your type 2 because it doesn't.
Already
have
did.
Okay, so
Charge.
I think it has versatile, right?
I think it's accurate.
No, accurate is.
It's It's definitely charge and other stuff. I'm
Charge.
going to the page.
Oh, that's right. It's got the area and stuff. So basically, oh, and you didn't spend a minor action. So what is your minor action? Is it, well, you don't need aim, so I imagine it's not aim. So do you want to set it to be an area stun so that you can try to get 3 of them?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the effect. I think it's. I've got to look up the effects for area. And they're standing
it's you affect the area. It's you affect as many targets in the target range increment as you roll affected dice. So the badges, each one of them takes like full damage. If, however, you roll a complication and there is a friendly in the same area as part of your damage, you can affect as many friendlies as you roll complications.
That makes sense. All right, so, and I was just reading that as you said that, so that's definitely accurate. Alright, so yes, all of them take 4 points of damage. You will notice, interestingly enough, that they take the full 4 damage. The comm shields appear to just be comm badges. They do not appear to actually have the force shield inside technology within it. Probably because the Infamous does not have like the intel on your comm shields. Generally speaking, comm shields are not recoverable, in combat. They tend to go with, Go ahead.
So they're stunned or not?
Well, they've been hit. They're not unconscious. They stagger back maybe a couple of feet, and they're also unarmed. I'll also tell you that. So yeah, you've done that.
When I said accurate, it was the type 3s that are accurate as well as charge, not the type 2s.
Yep. Alright, so who wants to go next? Actually, one of them has to go next. So I'm going to say the Klingon is going to charge the Baldock Warrior and try to tackle him. Oh my god, where is... No, that's not it. I'm just going to roll some actual dice because... I don't feel like looking for the character sheet. Oh, those are definitely
And the other
fails.
2 would... And the other 2 would have picked that up as well.
The other 2 what? Would pick what up?
Lasgo was able to shoot them and they were taking the full brunt.
Yeah. So yeah, he basically tries to tackle this guy. Oh yeah, it is. And I gotta find that NPC. Oh, there it is. Of course. There it is. Did I even make? Oh, I did. Daring and security. So he's contesting it. Although I don't. With one success, I don't think he's going to do much to him. Oh, okay. They both do one success. So basically, they're just like locked in a struggle, exchanging blows, neither really gaining an upper hand. So now, let's see who's on. Neelan and Carr, I believe, are the only other player characters on the ship. So which one of you wants to go next?
I suppose it makes sense for Carr to go since he's closer to the scuffle. But okay, and I think I've got the phaser added to my sheet now, so he actually does have a phaser now.
Okay.
But
And I did say stun. Okay.
Yep.
I read you, sir. Carr will. There's not any like this here isn't some sort of cover, is it? Or is that just?
I mean, you
part
could
of the
say
picture?
it's cover. If you want to spend a minor action getting into cover, that's fine.
Yeah, because he's probably gonna move to cover, and then he will aim for this guy here. Well, not aim, because I think aiming is also a minor action, but...
Lieutenant Commander Barnaby. That'll be control security, difficulty 2. And they don't seem to be too worried about looking for cover or avoiding phaser fire. They're just kind of, standing there and then moving towards the next combatant.
And you said that was control or that was daring and security?
To fire, it's control and security. Alright, you hit him, roll your damage, which is 3 plus security, nice. I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe since...
many dice, but...
That's fine. You didn't spend a minor action to do anything because you were getting into cover, so I think that's just 2, 3, 4, 5 damage, right?
Yeah. I was expecting to see 5 dice, and it looks like way more rolled there. So
yeah, you just...
take it as you want.
Yeah, just put in the 3 in the little section, and then it'll add the security to it automatically. Alright, so... You see that and oh yeah, that's right, you didn't do area. So you see that when you hit him in the shoulder, he kind of stumbles, goes to a knee, and then looks. It appears as though he's dazed for a minute, and then he shakes it off, and he's looking around for a weapon to grab. And I'm actually gonna say he's gonna go next. So he picks up what looks to be like some kind of wrench, and he goes. He moves towards the Riemann because he's the closest for the moment, and he is going to attack him, and it's going to be melee, so it's going to be contested. I know I have a Riemann character sheet here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Ooh, 1-1, and he's got the complication. You know what? I need the threat, so I'm just taking the threat. Alright. So, again, he kind of swipes at him. The Riemann dodges. Instead of hitting the Riemann in the head, it just like glances off his shoulder. And then it's you guys' turn. Neelan, you're up.
Alright. I'm gonna try to shoot the closest one to me.
Alright, that would be Barnaby. Lieutenant Commander Barnaby, or the clone of him. Anyway.
Give me a second. I just kind of lost my dice. Hang on a sec.
It's all good.
Alright. I got a 9 and a 5.
Alright, so that's 2 successes. Good thing you didn't get a complication because you definitely probably would have hit the Riemann if you had. but you do hit Lieutenant Commander Barnaby. Go ahead and roll some damage. That would be, what's your security stat?
Is 1.
Okay, so it'll just be 4d6.
We got a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 1.
Alright, so that is 3 and a 4 is nothing, and 1 and 1 is combined 2 damage. So the phaser beam glances off his shoulder and he staggers back a little bit, kind of now getting you in his sights. However, he still has to deal with the Reman. But as they say in Telltale games, he will remember that. So now I'm going to say it is Tuvok's turn. He is going to move straight to Lasco Zed. And he is going to try, since you guys are in the EV suits, he's not going to try the volcanic punch this time. He's just going to try a really powerful punch. So let me, oh yeah, I don't think I have, ooh, he's got 1 success. So Lasco, go ahead and roll daring security to oppose. I'm going to look actually at his character sheet, because I might have actually, yeah, no, I did. Alright.
I'm gonna use 1 momentum.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Ooh. Yeah, he only got 1 success, but that's apparently all he needed. So now he is going to roll some damage dice, which his Tuvok security, I mean, he was a security officer, so it's probably like 4 plus 1. So that's, I'm just going to say that's 5d6. So we got 1, 2, 3 damage to you. But you have a resistance to punch attacks. And yes, I know you're not supposed to do resistance that way, but for the comm shields, that's how I'm going to do it for right now, until I can find the frickin' stats for it. For sharp melee, it's +2, so for just regular punch attacks, it's 1. But then you have the 1 resistance for the EV suit, so you just take 1 damage.
Yep.
Alright, so now it is, I believe, back to Lasco. And I'll be doing the NPC stuff behind the scenes, because I am not going to go through every single NPC. But yeah, go ahead and let me know what you want to do.
I'm gonna move back.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna fire at him with my top 2 fatal.
Alright, control security.
That'll be control security. Yeah, I don't even hit him.
Nope. You take a step back, try to shoot him. You probably stagger, or maybe you're just a bit. Well, you tell me. What's the reason you miss? Is it because you stumble on something, or is it because you just nervous about Captain Tuvok attacking you?
No, when he got hit, he.
Oh yeah, he's kind of stunned a bit.
Yeah, stunned a bit.
Fair
when
enough.
He went back.
Alright, so now, let's see. I am gonna say the Klingon attempts to attack once again, and he definitely is missing. Balak Warrior just has to get something better than that, and he gets a critical success. I'm just gonna roll this dice. Just one. Wow. So I guess the Balak Warrior just shoves the Klingon back up against a bulkhead, kind of making the Klingon think twice, bumping his head a little bit, but otherwise not doing much. All right, Car, you're up.
All right, looks like Tuvok is the easiest target at this point. So he will turn his attention and fire on Tuvok. Of course, he also just saw Tuvok punch his commander officer, so...
Alright, control and security. Difficulty 2.
Oh, yes.
Nice. You guys get a momentum. Yep, you definitely hit him, and then roll the damage. One, two, three. Did you want to take any minor action with that? Like aim?
No, probably. I don't imagine he would have been thinking about that. I'm pretty sure it was just, oh, Commander's in trouble. I need to help.
Okay, so you just fire randomly at Tuvok's general direction and manage to wing him. 1, 2, 3 damage. He kind of staggers. He actually staggers back and is kind of caught by Sergeant Major Camello, the Cation Marine. So I'm gonna actually have. Well, after Barnaby goes, I'll roll for both of them, Barnaby and Camello. There's Camello. Camello gets 1 success. Barnaby gets no successes, and then the Freeman gets also no successes. So they're just still struggling, basically trying to grab the wrench from Barnaby. Camello has basically clawed at Tuvok. Tuvok needs to... Oh wow, Tuvok got a critical and a success. So Tuvok basically just like, as Camello's claw is coming across his back, he just reaches back, not even looking, and blocks it. Alright, so now it is Neelan. Your turn.
Alright, I'm going to turn my attention to Tuvok and fire at him.
Alright, control and security. I'm increasing the complication range to 2, so a 19 and a 20 means you hit Commander Lasko.
Alright. Nice, I got a 1 and a 9.
Alright, so you get 3 successes, so you guys are up to whatever momentum you're up to next. But you hit Tuvok, so go ahead and roll 4d6 again.
Alright. Got a 1, a 3, a 2, a 1.
Alright, so the 3's nothing. 2, 3, 4. 4 successes. He staggers back again, away from Camello and the others. And now we're going to jump to the Legion, because Zukov and Osprey are there, not knowing what the hell is going on. I'll move Zukov's token to tactical. We can say all these people should be there. We'll just actually say Neelan has come up to the bridge now. Oh no, Neelan's on the away team, that's right. Alright, so Osprey, you have been waiting on the bridge for, at this point, probably less than 15 or 20 minutes. It hasn't been that long since they beamed over. Whoever's at the science station basically has a readout of like their location on the ship, as well as the life signs, which are now coming to you as Vulcan, Klingon, and human in the same vicinity. However, obviously you can't tell what is actually, for all you know, they could be talking. But yeah, what do you want to do?
Well, my thought, I put this to the group, but my thought is that I doubt we got sensor information that shows whether or not, people are wounded or unconscious or anything along those lines. We've just got healthy, near death, dead.
Yeah.
Guessing that's pretty much the...
You'd have to roll like some crazy sensor scans to get more detailed information.
Yeah. And so, well, Osprey's got one eye to space in case anybody else joins them. And the other eye is on the life signs aboard ship. And if for whatever reason any of our crew start going into near death, then it's emergency transport, because the shields are down on the ship and on the dreadnought, and all of that jazz. But absent that, carry on.
I was gonna say, wouldn't they pick up at least one person unconscious?
I'll tell you what. I'll roll. You can either spend a momentum, or I'll have a medical NPC roll to see if they pick that up on their scanners, because it would probably send telemetry of the life signs back saying, hey, this isn't right. So let me go ahead and roll that, unless you guys just want to spend the...
I was about to say, spending a momentum for life or death of crew sounds useful.
Okay. In that case, I just won't count the complications, and if you take away a momentum, I'll just... Oh, fuck, I did it again. I messed up OBS. Ugh. Every time I put the... it doesn't matter. Y'all don't care. Basically, you do get indication that there is one Caitlin Allen who is, and as far as I remember, a Vulcan nerve pinch. It pretty much indicates on scans as death. So as far as you can tell, she is minimal unconscious, maybe dead. So yeah, I'll let you decide how you want to handle that.
Osprey will just give the order. Lock on to that life sign. Emergency medical transport to medical bay. Alert medical team.
Okay.
And then once that has been done, he'll try and get in contact with the away team, but just wait to see if any rolls are necessary for that first.
Yeah, I'm gonna just because of everything going on that I have going on in the background, I am gonna roll for the engineering guy, the transporter chief. So give me 1 second. Okay, so he successfully transports. Man, I cannot do two things at once. He successfully transports Caitlin Allen. Where in the world? Oh, I deleted it. Into sickbay and kind of reports intense physical damage to the EV suit as well as to her neck. So it looks like some big clamp just clamped down on her neck and pinched really hard.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Osprey's just going to let medical handle that. And what he will say is he'll hail the away team. Captain Osprey to Commander Zed. Show you taking casualties. What is your situation?
Am I able to respond, Infamous?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be?
Can you do a site transport to free the Vulcan, Klingon, and the human that isn't one of our team to the brig immediately?
By the way,
and put extra here.
Question for Osprey: do you have shields up? Because I remember you were at red alert last I remember. So
we're at red alert. So it's a case of when we have to do emergency transport, drop shields for like a split second necessary to do it, and then put them back up.
Okay. So yeah, Mac, you can finish what you were saying. I don't know if you were finished, but I just had to ask that for my, so.
Yeah, that's okay. He basically whatever they try to tell you, Captain, don't believe them. They're clones.
All right. Acknowledged. And then he'll give 2 orders to his bridge. The first is Lieutenant Zukov. See to it that extra security is put in place in the brig immediately. And then the second order he will give is engineering. Lock on to the 3 life signs, Klingon, Vulcan, human, that are not wearing our transponder badges, and beam them directly to the brig. Separate cells.
Yes, sir. Comes the transporter chief. Gonna go ahead and roll for that. By the way, if anyone wants to roll for the Legion, you can. NPC, no, wrong one.
Sure, I'll do it.
Well, it's got to be someone with a roll 20 character sheet.
I'm just trying to find where the Legion is
top.
hiding in.
Top-ish.
One that doesn't have a
got
picture.
It. Yeah, I've got it. I'm guessing that's going to be what? Sensors engineering?
Sensors engineering, yeah. Or computer. If you use computers, you get a free reroll. That's fine too.
Alright, I'll do that.
Oh wow, you don't need
Oh, I'm not going to reroll that.
Critical success. Yeah, with a computer, so 14. That's hard to fail. But yeah, so you got a total of 3 successes. I'm gonna say you need 3 successes because you're transporting. They're not on a transporter pad. They're in movement. There's a lot going on. The sensor the ion or the antimatter trail is affecting everything. So I think that's a fair assessment. Say 3 successes gets them into the way. And I've spent threat to say that as that happens, you see the wormhole in front of you begin to open up. Legion does.
Okay. Okay, all right. And I'm guessing it's not being triggered by the dreadnought because it's already not on a course for that to happen.
Correct. In fact, you know what? Let's roll. I'll just do some passive sensors. Roll sensors and science for the. Actually, you know what? Roll sensors and security. This is way more of a security thing because you got all the sciencey stuff that you can get. But is Zukov back or no, she's still AFK. Okay, so I'll just roll for science. I was gonna have her roll security, but science is fine too. Reason and science. And alright, sensor secured. 3 successes. I'm gonna say you need 3 successes. So you can automatically tell just as the wormhole opens up. There is a small Scale 2 ship coming out of the wormhole. It doesn't seem to have known that you were there. It's still in the process of coming out as your scanners are picking it up. You also detect other masses inside the wormhole, stationary or as stationary as you can be inside a wormhole in space. It looks like large ships kind of positioned inside the wormhole. And then the wormhole closes and this small Scale 2 ship is between you and where the wormhole was.
Okay, alright. Is it a known hull type or is this an entirely unknown class of ship?
It is unknown. I will actually go ahead and show you what it looks like. All players should be able to see. Actually, you know what? Let me move you guys to space. Where is this space? Where's space? This is space. I'll move you to here. I don't know why space is called untitled. I'm pretty sure I titled space. So yeah, and I'll move this there. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It just comes out, looks like that small Scale 2 with the wormhole behind it, then the wormhole closes. And it just, as it comes out, it just stops. And it doesn't move, you're not detecting any weapons on it, it just stops.
Alright.
No, you don't recognize it, by the way. I think you asked that.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, there are going to be 2 immediate actions, because with all of those masses deep in the wormhole, an infamous fleet could be about to come through.
What?
So he's going to do 2 things. The first is he's going to say, security, science. Configure a torpedo to collapse the wormhole, load it into a tube and be ready. Do not fire that torpedo unless I give a specific order. Without that order, all other torpedo fires are to be conventional. And he'll then say, signals. Hailing frequency to the unknown ship.
Alright. I'm gonna kind of let the weapons security stuff ride for a second. Nothing is necessarily going to happen before that happens. So, for example, I'm not going to just have the fleet come out before that happens. But because Zukov is currently AFK, I want to just make sure she's the one that actually does that. So I'll just, for the moment, if she doesn't show up by the time this whole thing happens with the ship, then we'll go ahead and just say that yes, we fired the torpedoes. But yeah, so you start hailing, and that's not a roll. The Legion begins hailing, and the ops I believe is the cadet, because it's always a cadet. So let me look at the bridge layout. Yeah, Cadet Azid, I believe his name was, says, "Sir, the ship's actually hailing us. Should we put it on screen?"
On screen.
All right. So you hear him press the comms button, and on the view screen, there's nothing but white. And as you guys are trying to look at the view screen and the white light, it begins to come inside the bridge and permeate the bridge. All right. Hey, Zukov, I see you back. Go ahead and roll control and security if someone wants to roll weapons and security for the ship to assist. This will basically configure and fire the photon torpedo. Oh, actually, you guys have what? Let me see what kind of torpedoes you guys have. It might be quantum torpedoes.
I did say prepare to fire. Do not fire unless specifically ordered.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have both. You also have one tri-cobalt device. So which one do you want to fire once you've configured it? Do you want it photon? Or
well, we're not. Yeah, like when I mean it's a sovereign class, so it's got multiple torpedo tubes.
Roll for what?
Yeah. Give 1 second.
What did so what when it's got multiple torpedo tubes, so we're sitting the one that could collapse the wormhole, let's say there are 6, in one of the torpedo tubes,
right.
And it's just not going to be fired. The other 5 are going to do any fighting.
Right.
But it's ready at a moment's notice to collapse the wormhole if necessary.
Yeah, but which type of torpedo do you want to use? Photon torpedo, quantum torpedo, or tri-cobalt device?
Out of character, I don't know. Whatever science or security tells me will be the most effective at the job.
Okay, so for the most part, photon and quantum will do the same thing. The tri-cobalt device will probably do way more damage. It will probably also destroy the Scale 2 ship that's in front of the wormhole. Quantum. Yeah, so because tri-cobalt device is basically like the nuke of torpedoes. Quantum will make sure the wormhole stays closed. Photon torpedoes are great, but they're also significantly less. Well, actually, just looking at the character sheet, you can't even calibrate a photon torpedo, which is stupid because I've seen them do it in the show. But yeah, quantum torpedo is probably your best bet.
Quantum. So what should I roll?
So just roll control and security, and then we'll have someone roll computer security to configure for the ship.
Oh,
just gonna roll you.
I'll do that.
Just gonna give you 1 threat.
Okay. I was going to say, what is the difficulty of this?
I'm gonna say since it's pretty much story. What's the word I'm looking for? Basically, this will dictate pretty much. Yeah, this will literally dictate the next 2 years worth of games. So it's gonna be a difficulty 4, complication range 5.
Shit.
Okay.
By the way, check out your directives. Just saying. Check out your directives.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what I'm. Well, the difficulty is I'm doing the assist roll, and the main roll has already been done. Directive is, one of them is escape without starting a war with the Infamous Allegiance. This might start a war, but there is also a case of
the good
not
news is
allowing the fleet to appear in the first place may evade it.
Yeah, like I said, telling you straight up, whatever you do regarding the wormhole will decide the next season, a lot. It will dictate a lot. But you didn't get the 4.
Basically, long-reaching consequences.
Yeah. So you didn't get the 4 successes, but you did get 3 successes. So I'll say that with a little more time, you'll be able to get that torpedo configured.
Okay.
If you have that.
What about if I do an inspirational thing?
I mean,
like a direct. He did direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to just roll
that would be
presence command.
Command security, I think. Okay, presence command. All right, yeah, I'll do that.
No, just one dice. I believe it is.
Yep. I do have a focus in this, so.
All right. So you now have a quantum torpedo that can. Now this is going to depend on in the future on a whole lot of things. So for example, if you fire that torpedo after you've spoken with the Scale 2 ship, and then maybe another ship comes out the wormhole and intercepts the torpedo, it will cancel all that out. But assuming this torpedo gets to the wormhole, it will destroy it and disable it and basically make it so that no ships can go in and out of it ever again.
All right. It is. I am hoping not to use it, but it is my wish.
I'm hoping you don't use it too, because then I'll have to rewrite a lot of stuff. All right. So.
But all right, so we've hailed it. It
Yep.
hailed us
Yep.
and started flooding white light in.
Yep. And now there's white light. I need everybody to. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna jump real quick to the dreadnought that the away team is on. You guys, Commander Zed, on your comm badge, you're hearing static. You're not. You don't. It doesn't sound like it's coming from anywhere in particular. It just seems to be some kind of really powerful signal, and it's just. And your character's an engineer, so your character knows that there's some kind of big, like huge, like really powerful signal out there trying to get your attention. What do you do? It's not from the Legion. You know that.
I press my con badge to see if that does anything.
Lieutenant Carr, can you roll a... I'll let you decide what should be a Constitution/Fortitude roll. Should it be fitness or should it be like control? Probably whatever you
fitness
have.
and control is... fitness and control are basically the same stat, so...
For Carr?
Except, depending on who you're talking about,
Lieutenant
control
Carr.
is better than fitness.
Okay. Roll control and command. Difficulty is going to be 4. As your ear implant, the second one, begins to act up.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Sorry, you gave it to me. I'm using it.
Alright, well, I'm going to use some of that momentum. Yeah, I think I already used my termination last round, too. And whoa, hang on a second. Well, I guess I'm getting another... Hang on, just let me check on something first. Here.
Sure.
Okay, I have a Purple Heart commendation that says I can reduce the difficulty to all tasks related to detecting or avoiding danger or hazards by 1.
Okay,
so I think that would reduce the difficulty down to 3. I can do that, and then I may re-roll 1d20 for any task once per episode.
I tell you what, I have an idea. Wait, what was that? What was that second one? Can you repeat that?
It's the same thing. It's
okay.
It's the same commendation.
So make
one thing I can reduce it and then re-roll.
Make an insight security check, or insight engineering. Sorry, insight engineering, difficulty 4 down to difficulty 2 because of your commendations. If you get this, then it will reduce your other thing, your Constitution/Fortitude check to 2 as well.
Not enough.
Don't get it. Because basically what I was going to say is as soon as you hear the signal coming through, you're about to like yell like, "No, Lasco, don't." But you don't get that. You don't detect that danger until it's too late. Your implant begins giving you a headache as it begins screaming inside your head. And you basically are going to collapse. And as from Lasco Zed, from your point of view, he collapses to his knees, like by that box, and stables himself, and then he just stands up, and everything's normal. And now we're gonna jump back to the bridge.
That's not good. Assuming we've got some time to react, which is a big assuming, Osprey's sort of immediate order would be cut visual feed. Followed by...
I think visual feed, Captain.
Okay.
Signals. Ensure we have proper buffers and safety mechanisms on communications, and then attempt to establish communication audio only.
Alright, so
Captain.
Everyone is going to get one task, everyone who's on the bridge. Zukov, you can decide to either cut communications, like your captain said, which would be control security, or roll the fitness and command that everybody else is going to roll at difficulty 4. It's your decision. You can only do one. If you...
Cutting comms.
Okay. If you succeed at cutting comms, only you will be affected and nobody else will. If you succeed at cutting comms, the difficulty for everyone else will decrease by 2. So everyone will just need 2 successes.
Got it.
Because you guys aren't hearing anything. It's just the light. It's a complete, as far as you could tell. Well, you don't know, but
Hey, wait.
it is a different
Wouldn't
thing.
so if I'm at the tactical, wouldn't I not be facing the light?
I mean, you're standing behind the captain's chair, facing the view
Oh
screen,
right.
right?
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh right. I accidentally. Yeah, my fucking.
It's all good. Yeah, this is a refit sovereign class, so it's kind of like a mixture of the sovereign and the galaxy class. Which
All right, here we go.
All right. All right, and you. What I said the difficulty was to do that. Did I say it was 2? Right. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. So you get a momentum. However, now it is a difficulty 2 for Osprey, which you're the only player character, so you're the only one that has to roll. Osprey to roll fitness and command, reduced from 4 to 2. The white light's gone, no noise, but you're still going to suffer the effects of the white light if you fail. But you will
Absolutely.
be the only one.
Yeah. And just seeing if there's anything I can... Oh, yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 1 momentum to give myself an extra dice, because we really don't want the captain knocked out. And here we go. So
Nobody
fitness
wants
command.
the captain KO'd.
Oh, nice.
We're fine.
Yeah, and you get some
Buggers.
momentum.
We get a momentum.
Buggers.
All right, so Zukov, you collapse, and when I say collapse, I mean like your legs shake, you stagger a bit, you grab onto the console, and then you feel fine immediately afterwards, and you stand back to normal, and everything's fine. Now, I really wish I had time to get pages. So let's see. Ah, yes. Zukov. Oh, let me get rid of all this. Zukov and Kar. You find yourselves in the brig of a sovereign class vessel. As far as you could tell, this is the Legion. Zukov, you are standing at the main console there. Lieutenant Kar, you're on the other side with a panel open. Looks like you were repairing something. But you don't remember how neither one of you remember how you got there. So there is one soldier or one Starfleet security officer kind of standing by, doing just a normal shift of guard duty. And I'll let you guys take it away with the role play.
Something that suddenly happened from that light. But when I cut the comms.
A light. I just heard a noise, but what are we doing here?
What are you doing here? I thought you were. Wait, I have a question. Was Lieutenant Carr in the bridge?
No, he was on the
No,
away
sorry,
team.
He was on the way.
Wait, weren't you supposed to be on the away team?
I was on the away team, and it looks like he glances down at the panel in front of him. It looks like
I'm supposed to be on the bridge.
No wonder. This does look suspiciously like the Legion. He's going to tap his comm badge and attempt to talk to Lieutenant Ustam.
Alright. You hear Lieutenant Ustam's voice. Ustam here, Lieutenant Carr. What can I do for you?
Can you come down from engineering for a second? I think I'm missing a tool in my toolkit.
I'll be there momentarily. Roll Insight Engineering, difficulty 2.
Well, here's the thing. Out of character, Ustam's also on that away mission.
Yep.
So Ustam shouldn't be on the Legion.
Yep.
So that's why.
That's the thing. Intentionally.
Yep. Roll Insight Engineering. Or Security, but probably Engineering.
Probably engineering.
Hold on a
Carr
minute.
will just look at the lieutenant
Isn't he
and
also
go,
supposed to be? isn't he also supposed to be in the away team as well?
Yes, which is rather suspicious, isn't it? That apparently he's aboard the Legion as well.
Extremely.
Alright, so when he arrives 2 minutes later, that is impossible unless he uses a transporter because engineering and the brig are several decks away from each other. But he arrives and he has basically a toolkit with him, and he opens it. He's standing kind of like to the side of both of you, and he reaches inside of it and he looks at it and says, "What do you need, Lieutenant?" Like he's about to give you a tool.
Answers.
Okay.
That is unusually quick for someone to have come from an away team to a transporter and then our transporter to here.
Away team?
Tell me.
What away team do you mean?
Zukov looks over at and just knows, yeah, this is definitely extremely suspicious. My suspicion alarms are ringing as redder than the flag of the USSR.
Lieutenant Mako walks in. Lieutenant Zukov, you're supposed to be on duty on the bridge 5 minutes ago. What's going on?
I was supposed to be on the bridge, but it seems...
I asked the lieutenant to help me test this console.
Ooh, roll presence. Command against his presence or his insight security. Ooh. He kind of looks at you both suspiciously, but he just nods and says, "I'll let the captain know," and then turns and heads out. Ensign SCOTUS kind of sidles up to you guys. "Are you guys alright? Why'd you just lie to that lieutenant?"
Maybe you kind of cut out there.
Oh, Lieutenant SCOTUS kind of sidles up to you guys and says, "Are you guys alright? I feel like you guys were lying to that lieutenant." And you also know that he has half ANR, which means he's like half telepathic, which basically means he's empathic.
I mean, I'm sure that's why I would have asked. That's why Lieutenant Zukov would be here.
Maybe. But he's asking... Sorry, go ahead, Nostra.
In some degree. I mean, being literally yeeted into a situation out of context, well, you know what happens to, people like myself when we're being yeeted around without any warning. It's just, we're thrown off.
Yeah.
To the point our brains just stop working, like...
You need... this is an out-of-character thing. You need to... I would recommend you determine... A, which one of these two realities is real? Out-of-character, we know. And B, what is this fake? Is it like a dream? Is it an illusion? Is it a holodeck interrogation? What's going on?
Yeah.
This kind of... Yes, I am going through a severe hallucinative experience from that light, or I am actually going insane, which practically is impossible because I have passed through every single medical processes to actually get into Starfleet.
You hear the door open behind you, and you hear a familiar voice say, "Lieutenant Zukov." And when you look, it's your old friend, Julia how do you say that? Konstantinov? I'm not a Russian, I'm sorry.
Konstantinov.
Okay, Konstantin and then off. Got it. Konstantinov walks in, who is not a crew member on this ship, and she's a full commander at this point. And she walks in and says, "Are you going to ignore your executive officer?"
That doesn't make sense.
My brain just... Sorry, I'm sorry, like, my brain has completely farted. I'm sorry, like... You know what?
think I found the perfect gif of what is going on in.
And you want to play a Cthulhu game?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Cthulhu would drive you nuts.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Role-playing
it would.
does that, and yeah, it's just.
Yeah, you
As far as Carr is concerned, he's trying to just set up like he's kind of figured out at this point that, Ustam is here and should not be here.
Right.
And he doesn't recognize this exo, so he's definitely sure that this is not a good place. They're like, whatever this place is, it's not the Legion that that he and the fact that Lieutenant Zukov is questioning things means that, okay, so Zukov at least is from wherever I'm originally from.
Right.
But now he's like, okay, so what am I? It's probably like not safe to stay here. So what he's thinking about doing right now is he'll grab just a random tool from Ustam and pretend to finish, like he'll be doing repairs, and then whatever it is, he'll be finished doing repairs and go, okay, I think we're done here, Ustam. If you wouldn't mind taking that back to engineering, I will get the lieutenant to the bridge for his shift. And he's just like thinking, I just need to get the lieutenant like out of the spot.
Right.
Just get us somewhere that's not by the people that are here.
Okay.
He's trying to do.
So the commander steps aside, and as you guys head back to the bridge, and as you're doing that, we're gonna jump to the actual bridge of the Legion. Yeah, as far as you're concerned, Captain Osprey, everything is fine. So what do you want to do? As far as the ship that you just hailed, or hailed you, once that white light was eliminated from the screen, and obviously you could then see the screen, and sensor data was, continuously playing, or continuously giving you sensor data. The ship, the supposedly scale 2 ship from the infamous Allegiance, supposedly, is no longer on sensors or on the view screen.
Okay. And I have no indication that my
Nope.
chief of security or a member of my away team has just been body snatched. So,
in fact, funnily
Well,
enough, Zukov is the one that reports the missing ship. He says, "Sir," and his accent is mysteriously way less. He says,
Way Americanized. Suddenly just not Russian at all.
I'm assuming that's purely out of character.
Well, I think we can safely say that at least half of his accent is gone. But yeah, he says, "Sir, the scale to..." I can't do a Russian accent. I can do it if I'm not put on the spot, but I can't do it now. But yeah, he basically says he's the one that reports to you.
I mean, if you want, you could just give me what I need to say, and I can.
No, I mean, because then it's just me feeding you lines. There's a specific thing going on here. But yeah, he says that. No.
But the thing is, you are butchering the accent.
I'm not even doing an accent.
And now he's.
You sound like an Italian.
Anyway,
but yeah,
let him go.
He reports everything. Is yeah. That ship is not there. The other dreadnought is still out there.
Okay. So there's one thing, regardless of what he's going to do. We'll come back to the mysterious Zukov in a moment. And Captain Osprey will say, "Sensors, search the area for any trace of where it may have to warp signatures, ion trails, or any other form of locomotion or residual trail." And then, as a side point, what with Zukov's accent in character being a bit different, permission to roll, I think it would probably be Insight Command with my specialism so Insight Command, with my focus in infiltration and counter surveillance and all that kind of stuff.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
But also,
what's the difficulty?
Now it's going to be opposed, and I'm using Zuko's stats.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
In
and
that-
thing is, Zhukov's got infiltration and composure.
And I'm spending
yeah.
some threat. And I'm
All
going
right.
to have
Well,
you
this
roll
could.
first.
Yeah, this could very well be important, and these resources reset on every session. I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 1 extra dice with momentum. And the second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my Rot Comes From Within talent to get 2 automatic successes. Because now there is rot within. It's
Yes,
not
there
the
is.
kind of rot I envisaged. But
No, it's
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna roll then because there's only so much I can do. Yeah, I only got 2 successes. You already beat him basically. As long as you don't roll complication.
Which I didn't.
You
So
rolled, okay.
yeah,
Yep.
3 to 2. I beat him by 1.
Yep. So you get that momentum. So you're back up to 6, and because you're not magical and you can't read minds like some player characters we have. All you know is there's something odd about him, and
He sounds more Italian than
yeah, he sounds like a mixture of Russian, Italian, American, and pirate or something. But basically, there's just something off about him. But my question for you also is, what do you want to do about the away team? Because they're still over there, and as far as you're concerned, they're still fighting. Oh, no, they're not, because you beat those people over to the brig.
Beat the people from the brig.
So
Yeah.
they're still over there.
Yeah. So it's been like seconds in character. So he's then going to hail the away team and say, "Captain Osprey to Commander Z, we have recovered the injured crew member. Please report your status."
Captain, we looks out to Lieutenant Carl. I think Lieutenant Carl might need to go to medical because I don't know what happened, but
Over
I
on
believe it's
the
beneficial.
Dreadnought, Lieutenant Carr says, "No, I'm perfectly fine. And you can hear like a hint of an Irish accent in there, but he says, "No, I'm completely bloody fine. Don't even worry about it. I'm good. I can do everything you could do, but better," or whatever that line is.
That is very fascinating coming from
Anything
the Doran.
you can do, I can do.
Yeah,
better.
that's what he says.
I go, no. Lieutenant Carl needs to go to medical. Doctor, you can.
But Osprey's just going to take the
Lieutenant Carl,
away missions
medical.
lead for that. The away mission chief gets to make the call on,
Right.
no, this person isn't medically supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So he'll give orders for medical to be on standby and for a transport to medical for Carr to be checked out.
Okay.
And then he'll also order Helm. He's still aware that there are potential ships coming out of the wormhole, and we're in a weird position to go and hide the Sovereign behind the Dreadnought.
Oh, okay.
So as that we're not immediately in front of things if they pop out of the wormhole, but
Okay.
because torpedoes can fly around corners in space, to still be constantly plotting a trajectory for the torpedo to hit the wormhole should the order be given.
Yep. Okay. And also, even though you're beaming Carr to medical, are you beaming the rest of the away team back? I don't remember if you said.
That depends on what Commander Zed's remainder of the update is.
Captain, he walks up to the thing and walks up to the memory thing. He doesn't say he's walking up to the memory thing. He walks up to the memory thing, and he goes, Captain, can we ask the Klingon ship to help safeguard this ship as well?
You mean the Romulans?
Romulans and Klingons.
We've only got the
both of
Romulans.
them?
Yeah, the Klingons are staying back for some reason.
Can you ask the Klingons to come and help us safeguard this? Because, as well.
Did you roll Insight
Captain?
Engineering for that console last session? I think you did, right? You figured it out,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah.
I asked because I actually
It says
drew.
it's a soul memory.
I actually drew what all the buttons
Because-
on the console did, so I just want to be able to give you that. Where is it?
He goes, Captain, this is a kind of situation that we High Command might need to send a fleet for this resource.
Please be more specific, Commander.
Yeah, specifically, they want to be able to send a fleet for this thing because I don't want to say it over comms.
Okay, when you say you don't want to say it over comms, Osprey gets that, but he's not going to authorize a fleet or even recommend a fleet on that basis. He can't even get the Klingons.
He goes, Captain, put somebody in charge and come over. On the bridge and come over.
Negative, Commander.
I
must remain on the bridge.
This is something you want to have a look at.
So, Mac, let me go ahead and tell you, or I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take only Mac to the console just in a few moments. I have to actually set it up because I didn't have time to, but it'll tell you what all the buttons do and basically how to do things with it. That might change your kind of opinion on either how important it is or what you want to do with it. But in the meantime, this is okay. It's kind of hard. Yeah, go ahead and keep role playing. It's gonna take me a minute to actually get this set up. Unfortunately,
Commander,
I do not have time.
Commander, are you saying that you can only discuss this matter face to face?
Yes, I can only say.
This is a red alert situation. I cannot leave the bridge. I will, however, transport you here, and you can debrief me in person in the ready room.
Yes, this is something that can only be discussed in person.
Very well. Stand by. Actually, he'll continue saying, "What is the situation of the rest of your team? What are your current plans?"
The rest of the team will be staying back to guard it, because I don't want this to fall in the wrong hands.
Very well. Stand by for transport. And then he'll cut communication, and he will turn to transporter. Well, he'll signal the transporter room, ask for a transport. He'll meet Commander Zed in his ready room, and he will put Commander Dawson in charge, by the second in the bridge, but with strict orders that the moment anything happens, call me back. I will immediately resume command. But someone's got to be sitting in that chair.
Okay.
Can we assume the transport is successful?
Yeah, you guys don't have to roll for that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
In the captain's ready room, which, bearing in mind that this is a Captain Osprey ready room, and he is counterintelligence with lots of work in signals, is secured to shit by himself personally.
Whatever's said in here, nobody else knows unless you want them to.
And he'll say,
let's go.
Very welcome.
Let's go. When you get in, he'll go lock down the quarters right now.
He'll push some concealed buttons under a desk. You can't quite see what's going on. Then he'll say, "This room is secure."
Okay. Over on the other ship, there is a soul transceiver. That the Infamous uses. If the Infamous dies, he has to use that soul transfuser to actually go to another clone. We have a backdoor into their specific memory banks.
Okay. Osprey's mind is immediately going down the whole sort of line of reintegrate Hugh into the continuum. Sort of, okay.
This is an opportunity for us to actually gain a backdoor into either cutting them off or finding out the more details into the workings of their minds.
Also add a character, I would say collective. But I say, very well, I understand the severity of the situation.
And for a Starfleet to have something like this in their hands is very, very unique.
We do not
And
have
these-
the military capability in this region of space or the diplomatic ability to bring an entire fleet here. Therefore, it is my intent to use sensor trails as much as is possible via effectively a highly sophisticated version of chaff, and then we will tow this dreadnought to another location where it can be scrutinized in more safety and away from this wormhole. I believe a large infamous force is currently in the wormhole and may emerge at any moment.
I think we're better off getting this ship away from the wormhole.
Very well. Return to your away team and keep control of the situation aboard the vessel and protect the asset. I will commence the tow.
Alright. I've
Yes,
put
sir.
you I've put you, Mac, on the page that has the Soul Transceiver console, and I'm still editing the last thing, but it's basically telling you what it's only got like a dozen buttons, but it basically tells you what they all do. Shit, what was that last thing?
What's the yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. He's going over to he'll go back to the ship.
Okay. And then what?
Oh, he's like, oh, yeah. He knows everything that's on this thing, and he goes, yeah.
Essentially, Zed's mission is to make the asset, we'll just call it, as secure as is possible. That could involve like making it impossible to transport onto the ship. Zed has complete discretion about how to complete his mission. His mission is just protect the asset. And as I said, Osprey's then going to put, because it's space and a tractor beam will be fine, he'll put the dreadnought under tow, and via a circuitous route with various things to try and throw off sensor trails, he's going to get that ship out of here. So if that fleet does come through the wormhole, which he won't collapse at this current time unless a crisis forces him to, so when it does come through the wormhole, there won't be a floating dreadnought here for them to recover. You will be gone.
Okay.
Yes.
Question
Mysteriously
for Mac.
gone.
Question for Mac. You can see the way to deactivate. So as I told you guys before, there was only, there's like a room or something, but there was really only one thing with a lot of power on this ship when you guys found it, and it is the Soul Transceiver. You do see buttons to deactivate it. You see other buttons, as you can tell, that do other things. What do you want to do with that? Or do you not want to do anything? You just want to stand there and kind of guard it?
He's looking at it and he's like, and he's mumbling out loud. Auto destruct soul transceiver? No. Activate / deactivate?
As you're mumbling, you kind of get the feeling someone is near you, and you see Lieutenant Carr standing there, kind of looking over your shoulder, and he says,
What the heck?
"Oh, sorry, I'm an engineer. I just was gonna come and take a look at this console with you and see if we can't figure this thing out."
How did you get back on the ship?
Oh, did you guys beam everyone off and leave only Lasco?
No.
I thought you.
No.
The whole team was left there.
Lieutenant Carr was beamed back to the ship.
Oh, that's right.
No,
Sorry.
no, look.
You're right.
Oh. Oh yeah, medical. Yeah,
medical.
you're quite right. Yeah.
All right. In fact, let's go
Yeah.
there now. Captain Osprey, who do you want in medical overseeing these two individuals? You sent Zukov too, right?
No,
No, you
because
didn't.
in
I would've-
character I haven't had enough time to deal with Zukov being weird.
Alright, so
Like,
I would have sent the medical medical officer back to the ship so he can deal with
Dr.
Lieutenant Carr.
alright.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. You'll get a different medical officer back because
Right.
Osprey's not leaving you without a medic on the away team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understandable. But this is something for the doctor to handle because I know it'll be like, yeah, switch your
Right.
personality. Yep.
Okay. then in that case, we're gonna just have that go on in the background since everything there is basically NPCs. And then I will jump to, let's see, where's that one? Ah, there it is. Oh, what a coincidence. Lieutenant Carr and Zukov, you guys have left the brig. Unless I'm wrong, you know how my memory is. Let me know if you guys are staying in the brig. But as far as I remember, you guys left the brig.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. And you guys are alone now. I mean, obviously there's people walking back and forth in the corridor, but like for all intents and purposes, you're alone. So what do you want to do?
And then I believe we're going to have to find a place that is not bugged. I'll have to figure out what the hell is going on.
They want you on the bridge right now. And
Right.
who was that? Who is the commander? You seem to know her. I'm not familiar with her.
Yeah, she's someone I know, yes. It's complicated.
Fine. As long as he tries to mentally remember her name, so if he comes across her and has to address her, then at least he'll know her name.
Konstantinov.
That's all he's...
Konstantinov.
Let's have it.
Yep.
Konstantinov.
Alright, Konstantinov. Okay. Well, I guess I must be on duty too if I was repairing that console, so I'll just go with you to the bridge.
Right.
Unless you know of a better place to talk.
Whenever my business is done with the bridge, then I believe we could find an area so we could discuss the situation at hand. That understood?
Understood.
Lieutenant Carr, you hear a familiar voice behind you. It's a Ferengi's voice. Lieutenant Carr, what are you doing out of engineering? And when you look, it is your old friend, Lieutenant Commander Keldar, who apparently, as he walks up with a data pad in his hand, he says, I don't want my deputy assistant chief engineer out roaming the bridge during business hours. Or roaming the ship, sorry, I think I said roaming the bridge.
Sorry, I was just making a house call for the panel on the brig.
Yes, well, get to engineering. We've got things to do. And he kind of brushes past you, heading towards the bridge.
Right, that's also different. Do you think that this is an entirely
of
different
reality?
region, or is this some sort of facsimile?
Presumably. Or perhaps... neurologically, we've been thrown into some kind of mental prison, perhaps.
Perhaps. Well, it might be best to just learn as much about it as we can.
Understood.
And I certainly don't want to get on the bad side of my boss. He's kind of like, now I've got a boss. This is so weird. Anyway. I guess I will see you after our shifts are over, Lieutenant.
Understood. Alright. We'll rendezvous at a specific place in which we could
Alright.
safely
You
communicate.
can always go for coffee.
We just go straight to the bridge. And with just a subtle nod.
Okay. So, when Lieutenant Zukov gets on a turbolift to go to the bridge, also in the turbolift is Lieutenant Vess, the intelligence officer, who you may... your character would definitely know, but Zukov essentially was reassigned for one mission in a previous episode, one of the ones that you weren't able to attend. And Lieutenant Vess took his place on that mission. And Lieutenant Vess did not make it out alive. And your character, Zukov, would know, based on like reports and stuff, about all of that. And he turns and looks at you and says, Lieutenant, I see you're on duty to the bridge as well, huh?
Yes, and I'm surprised you're very much well.
Well, Terrellium fever doesn't last long, just a couple of days, but thanks.
I see. With a nod, he just makes a subtle nod in acknowledgement and definitely questioning practically reality at this point, like,
This is not right. He's definitely reported to have been deceased. Hey, I know it sounds a strange question, but shit. Hey, perhaps I may have spaced out, but I believe we've been assigned to the Legion, yes?
He kind of gives you a strange look. He says, "Of course."
All right. I just needed some additional confirmation.
Okay. He kind of gives you like another odd look, like he's trying to read you and try to figure you out. Actually, once you guys are probably like 3 decks from the bridge, he says, "Turbolift hold," and the turbolift stops. And he looks at you and he says, "I forgot something back in my quarters." And then the doors open and he exits, and then the turbolift doors close, and unless you like go out the turbolift, it's gonna continue on towards the bridge.
You want? Give me a second.
While you're away, I'll go jump to Lieutenant Carr. You approach engineering, and as you're kind of getting to the main doors, they open, and you almost bump into Sub-Lieutenant Cavoro, and she stops herself and says, Lieutenant Carr, good to see you back," and then tries to like brush past you.
Don't let me get in your way, Lieutenant.
Do you say that out loud, or?
He'll probably mutter it, but
Okay.
he's trying to not be high profile right now.
She'll cast a look over and give you like a brief smile, but she doesn't really seem to have heard you. She moves on.
That was odd.
All right, you go in engineering. You could tell actually there. Actually, I'll move everybody. Here's others. All right. So yeah, you get into engineering. There are just people milling about doing jobs. You can see Lieutenant Commander Keldar is up in his office, probably doing reports or something. You see a few other engineers. Ustam is back here. Obviously impossible, but he is there.
I mean, it's already impossible. I mean, Carr is currently not chief engineer anymore, so this is already like, yeah, this is not.
SC or Senior Chief Petty Officer Stirk kind of bumps into you. Well, doesn't bump into you like Cavoro did, but he kind of moves towards you as you enter and gives you a nod and says, "Lieutenant." And he kind of gives you like a weird conspiratorial look, like he's trying to get your attention without saying anything, and then like gestures with his eyes weirdly, and then like hurries off to go to some random console at the other side of engineering.
Okay. Presumably there is some sort of maintenance log that Carr needs to hurry up and fill out then because of the whatever he was just repairing in the brig.
Okay.
So he's going to go and do that.
Okay.
But he'll kind of like hold up and he'll try and at least make some signal like I'll be over there, just give me a second.
Sure.
Put a couple finishing touches to this.
All right. Do you want to do anything else at that console since you're, at a console now? Do you want to do anything else?
Carr kind of wants to know where in space is this ship right now.
This is gonna sound so random, but make an insight medicine check. But also a reason and con check. So
mysteriously, the ship is located in your frontal lobe. What?
Honestly, I should have had you roll this like a while ago, and I just now remembered it. But no, reason con for the like where in space are we, and then insight medicine for something else.
Okay, these probably aren't going to be too good anymore. Whoa. Okay, I can figure something out at least.
Yeah.
You said that was difficulty 2, so let me add that momentum to our pool real fast. And I'm going to use it, because my con is terrible now.
Ooh, nice. And you got a complication.
Does any... Alright, team, I would like to just clear that complication. Is that okay?
Of course.
That'll drop us down to 4 momentum from the... Okay.
So you feel, first of all, as the ship seems to be in some unknown sector of the Shackleton Expanse, but as you're exploring or whatever, but as you're you start thinking like something's different, something's weird about me, and you like put your hand up to your ear.
I know what it is.
A normal ear, and you can hear normally, like whatever little staticky stuff that you've ever heard before, or whatever kind of itch that you've ever had in your ear, like it's completely gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh. We'll glance over at Arito and be like, just another second. And he's going to pull, he's going to pull out his personal pad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Personal pad, and look up his. He's going to look up his service record.
Okay.
And see if there's an accident on record anymore. Because the one that he had definitely would have been on record, or is on record. In fact,
as you're scanning through it, there does not seem there's a record of an accident, but it looks like the other individual was the one to suffer the ear injury, and not you.
Oh my god, Ashley. All right then. Because truthfully, I would have, like, out of character, I would have expected the other NPC to be Car's superior. But okay, that would explain a lot too. If say she got injured instead of Car. All right. So anyway, so he'll just kind of note that and go, okay, this is definitely not my legion. But then he'll head over to Sister Garrido and say, everything okay?
Yeah, I was just wondering if he kind of looks around again and he says, I mean, well, you were closest to him, and you know, I just can't believe that he would betray Starfleet like that. It must have been hard to kill Lasco Zed.
It was very hard.
Was there any sign
Yes,
that he was a traitor?
I didn't hear anything. That was helpful.
Well, you know how those Cardassians are. I mean, they did it with the Dominion. As soon as the war changed, the winds changed, they changed sides. We should have never trusted them.
I suppose not.
Well,
but anyway, I have duties to... I should probably get back to my duties before the chief...
And hey, if you need anything, just let me know. I've been where you are, and you know, in your universe, he did. His father was in the Maquis, and he fought Cardassian, so he probably experienced some kind of Cardassian conflict in his youth. So he may understand what quote unquote you are going through. But yeah, he's like, yeah, get back to work. I'll do the same, I guess. And he kind of moves over to that console and starts working.
The only other thing that Car wants to do right now is get some coffee.
Is there a replicator in engineering? I don't know if there is.
I don't know.
You know what? In this universe, there is. So you could just go, like, over to this corner or something and be like, "Hey, there's a replicator. I'm gonna get some coffee."
All right. He's gonna try and get it. What he's wanting to do is see if he can if he calls out his particular blend that he typically gets, because it's like a custom one. He's just gonna. He's like, "Computer, I need a cup of coffee, no less 4, just to see if it tastes the same."
When you do that, it says there is no record of customization for Nolus. Car Nolus. Roll Insights Engineering, difficulty 1.
Yeah, what's wrong with this Nolus?
He doesn't like coffee. This bastard drinks tea.
Probably does. It's probably Bajoran tea.
So yeah, that gives you a momentum back. You're just looking at like the list of coffees. There's like five types of coffee.
Of course, the sludge is still here.
No, I mean like in all of the Federation, there's 5 types of coffee, and that's it. And then you like glance down to the tea. There's like 6, and then you're like, oh. And then you just see like a picture of pizza. There's like 3 types of pizza ever made. Definitely weird in this universe.
Well, this is supposed to be the Legion. It's replicator banks are sorely lacking. He's muttering that to himself. He's definitely not shouting that or anything. People think he's crazy. All right, he'll just get something and move on with that. Okay. That was just another thing he was curious about.
When you take a sip of the coffee, it tastes, no matter how much sugar you put in it, or milk, or whatever the hell you do with coffee, it tastes bland and black and barely like coffee at all. And then you start to feel that tingling sensation in your ear, and you just hear like a very, very, very distant voice saying, "Clone 7 breaking down."
Clone 7. Alright, so this coffee, sorry, out of character, where did, it's still shackled in Expanse, right?
Yeah.
It's still where the ship is located? Kara and I are both trying to think of a good way to contact Lieutenant Zuko right now without getting a bunch of attention. I don't know if there's a good way to do that.
Well, let's see. Let's jump to the bridge. The virtual bridge, we'll call it. And when you get there,
I'll keep
Zuko...
thinking on it, let you know.
Huh?
I'll keep thinking. If something comes up, I'll message you.
Okay. When you get there, Zukov, Captain Osprey, still the captain. Julia Konstantinov is the commander of XO. The Zaranite, still the counselor. What was that?
My apologies for the delay, Captain.
Oh, that's all right. Just don't let it happen again. We're entering the Typhon Nebula now. Make an insight security. Difficulty 0. This will give you some momentum. It's not too difficult.
Rolled.
Oh, sorry, I was just doing stuff. Yep, so you guys get a momentum. Yeah, the Typhon Nebula is not in the Shackleton Expanse. It's like on the other side of the Alpha Quadrant. But you can tell as you're looking down at your console, you're in the Shackleton Expanse, and there is a nebula, and it's labeled Typhon Nebula.
Understood, Captain. And I'm just gonna mentally put that into notes and just immediately regain everything, just for now.
Okay. And you also see at Ops Adona Cavoro, the Romulan that you guys love so much, and Aileen Variel, who is definitely supposed to be dead. I think. It's hard to keep track.
But mentally.
Oh yeah, mentally
suffering.
dead.
She survived.
Yeah.
Brain dead.
And there
He's
was long-term care. There was surgery that was somewhat successful to recover her, but she's in long-term rehab.
Oh, yeah.
But will hopefully be back.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what you see. Everything else, all the other NPCs on the bridge seem to be normal. So what do you want to do, tactical officer? Currently, you're just heading towards the nebula.
Definitely engage in some scans to make sure that there's no hostiles nearby.
Okay.
Practically standard procedure, but triple check this time.
All right, let's do a reason and security for a tactical perimeter scan. Difficulty 1.
Ambiguous threat.
Okay. Unfortunately, the ship cannot assist in this situation. Oh wow, got your 1. Yeah, you literally your console says cloud. That's all it can tell you. And then, like, under it, you'll see a picture of the Typhon Nebula, and it almost looks like someone drew it. It literally just does not look like a normal, because, you know, normal nebulas, they're very imperfect. This just looks like someone literally made a symmetrical cloud and colored it in, and
So literally a literal freaking 3-year-old drew it.
Well, it's not that bad. It looks good, but like this guy right here, that's an AI generated Ferengi picture. So it kind of looks like an AI generated cloud, basically. So it kind of looks real, but kind of not. Mostly not. And Captain Osprey says, "Helm, take us in." And then you guys start heading on towards the nebula. Just 1 second. Is there anything that you want to do on the bridge for the moment, for right this second? Zukov.
Captain, there's something to be off with the visuals of the nebula itself, Captain.
It looks like cotton candy, like every nebula. It'll be fine. We're going in. And then you see on the screen, on the view screen, the main view screen, nobody else seems to see it. They're just, you know, acting normal, because to you know, it's just you guys heading into the cloud. But to you, you see the words Rufus Zukas Clone 3 ready. Status of Rufus Zukov Clone 1 deceased. Caused genetic mutation degraded beyond repair. Status of Rufus Zukov Clone 2 operational. Location USS Legion. And then it just kind of vanishes. Captain Osprey says, "Did you hear me? I just need you to run another tactical scan. It looks like our systems are on the fritz. Looks like that the view screen's kind of flickering there. Just run another diagnostic with our security systems, if you don't mind, Lieutenant Zukov."
I believe there's a high chance that this nebula might have higher levels of radiation, Captain, but very well.
It'll be fine.
This really is going to be like Chernobyl, isn't it?
He does it.
All right. It's not required to roll, as you're just you discover no matter what button you touch, as you know, you might accidentally tap one button, but no, you know, and you try it again. No matter what button you touch, whatever you want to happen happens. So it ends up you just end up running a security diagnostic on the system, and it all comes back fine.
Something isn't right.
Shh. The first officer says, "Report, Lieutenant Zukov."
All the systems, everything is normal.
Very well. Has Lieutenant Carr figured out a way to communicate with Zukov yet? Discreetly.
Well, I've got a very indiscreet way he could do it, but probably not a good idea to try sabotaging things and get thrown in the brig. So
I mean, there's always one idea to, I don't know.
I've got one, if I'm allowed to suggest something
Sure.
out of character.
Yeah.
Please do, please!
Which is that know that the consoles do whatever you want them to do, and you know that Zukov is at tactical, you can make stuff appear on his display from your display. And
Oh
like,
god, I think I have the
displays.
funniest idea. Quietly, a billion Borg ships.
What?
Alright, spending 2 threat for that. So, yeah, a lot of Borg ships are in the nebula waiting for you guys. And the Captain Osprey's like, "What? Our sensors did not detect this. Helm, get us out of here now. Go to warp." About a dozen tractor beams lock on to the Legion and literally start pulling the ship apart. I need you, Zukov, to do something else.
And
now.
and then an infamous dreadnought comes into the picture.
All right, since you're having way too much fun, we're gonna jump back to engineering.
Laughs in KGB.
Yeah,
all chaos is broken loose because the ship is literally falling apart.
Yeah, Lieutenant Carr, you're at a console just trying to figure out a way to discreetly communicate with the bridge when all of a sudden the ship starts shaking, red alert starts sounding, you hear Keldar scream, "What? How did the Borg get inside this small nebula?" And then, basically you just hear people talking about the Borg, and just hopefully nobody decides that the Borg should beam onto the ship, because that would just be terrible.
Ari's going to seize upon that distraction and start sending a couple messages to
like, what the fuck, Zukov?
What did you? If you die in the simulation, do you die really?
You don't know that. You won't know
This
that.
may have been unwise.
Wait, hold on. Wait. If it gives me full control of it, I'm just gonna casually downscale it, just quickly, just discreetly, just downscale it to just one ship.
Okay. While you're doing that, Lieutenant Carr, as you're at the console trying to communicate with the bridge, specifically Zukov, to try to figure out what the hell on the console on the display.
Some sort of secure frequency.
What was that?
Using some kind of encrypted frequency.
Yeah.
Surely Carr knows something.
Yeah.
I definitely quickly figure out the encryption because
It's giving you Morse code probably. Anyway.
Yeah.
But you see on the console on the display next, not the one you're typing at, but to the console to the right of you, you see it says, Car Nolus Clone 7 ready. Status of Car Nolus Clones 1 through 6 unknown.
What is this about clones? He'll also add a message to Zukov and go, I keep hearing and seeing something about about clones of myself.
I Morse code back. There is another clone of myself as well. You're not the only one.
And as you're typing, the message changes to status of Car Nolus Clone 1 discovered, deceased, cause terminated due to cochlear disability. Status of Car Nolus Clone 2 parts.
Cochlear disability.
And then another one changes. Status
I'm a clone.
Status of Car Nolus Clone 3 operational location USS Legion. 4 through 6 unknown.
Legion. Our Legion, maybe? He'll message back to Zukov. Did it apparently a clone of mine is aboard Legion. Might be ours, might be another facsimile.
Hey, can you remind me how many clones of Zhukov there it was?
Total 3, it said.
There were approximately... In total, there were 3 clones of myself as well, one of which is still active, the other deceased from genetic modification, it seems.
Lieutenant Carr,
modification.
As you guys are, communicating still, you hear distantly, they found a way to communicate. They know what's going on. Disconnect them now.
To us.
I understand that it might be unexpected of me to state this, but I think we breached the Matrix.
Understood. Or we'll close the console and look around to see if is anyone he's gonna look around and see is anybody watching me right now?
Oh yeah, 70 engineers are just staring at you.
By the prophets. What, you don't have anything to do? Aren't we being invaded by Borg? Lock down those reactors.
As soon as you say that, a dozen Borg beam in.
I send it through Morse code.
Is it possible do you want me to make this a little more complicated for this, or...
He's just gonna...
The program's overloading. Car hears distantly.
Program's overloading.
Should I overload it? It might be a risk.
Where is my other one?
I go fucking batshit insane with it. 100,000 Borg ships, 300,000 Romulan Empire ships, 400 Klingon ones, and 8
could not replicate.
3 billion infamous dreadnoughts.
Oh, sure. Why not all of them?
Yes, all of them. Every single ship.
And this one's
break the Matrix.
What? That shouldn't be possible for clones. You're the one who injected the Dren DNA into them. Damn it! Disconnect them. Car, that's what you hear distantly. Where in the world? Sorry, I'm looking for something and I cannot find it for the life of me. Oh well, I'll just have to do it from memory, I guess. So both of you wake up all of a sudden because obviously this isn't real. You are in. The first thing you both realize is you're confined. There's like maybe 3 inches around you. You're also in some kind of fluid, and you're also a lot of parts of your body is itchy, and like you feel like someone's pulling on it. And as you kind of look around and get fluid in your eyes from opening your eyes, you see that wires and hoses and cables have been attached to a lot of your body. You guys are wearing like whatever your under skivvies are for uniforms. I think it's like a tank top or a gray shirt and like long underwear or something. But yeah, you're wearing that. But yeah,
and the feeling of pool water in the eyes.
Yeah. And on the other side, like in front of you, you're like in some kind of capsule. You can feel gravity, so it seems like you're leaning forward. And then after a second, you can see the ground, which is like 15 feet down. So like it looks like you're on the ceiling, and you see like probably 3 Dren clones, a couple soldiers, some scientists in like dirty white lab coats all running around trying to figure out what's going on. And then on the other side of the room, you see probably like a dozen of each of you also in similar capsules.
Space.
Yes, space. So, you know what? I actually do have to go real quick, so we'll just say it'll be a to be continued once again.
Yep.
And yeah, you guys wake up somewhere not the Legion, apparently clones.
I was going to say very quickly 2 things. One is I'll type this first one, which is to remind me to tell our totally not a clone Zukov on the bridge to go to medical to get checked, because we know that Osprey's noticed
sounds too Italian.
Well, yeah, like something's up,
Right.
but he doesn't know what's up, and what he's thinking is, oh, hang on, we've just had weird alien contact and your voice has changed. Do you have moderate brain damage? Go to medical and get checked.
Yeah.
So that's that line of thought. And the second thing is, I'm just going to introduce existential dread for Zukov and Kar.
In case you haven't got it already.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It says, yeah, you've woken up in the tubes. Are you the original? Are you a clone?
Nope.
Which one are you?
I'll go ahead and tell you.
What happened to the original?
But yeah, so we'll just again do reputation next game. I'm pretty sure I said that last game, but this did not end. I think we could have, but I do have to go. We could have probably gone another 15-20 minutes and finished it, but I got to go. So yeah, and I will message you guys. I will message Kar and Zukov specifically, because I know there's probably some questions like, hey, what the fuck? But don't worry, I will message you and clarify some things so that you guys don't have to worry too much.
I'm sorry if I went absolutely batshit insane after realizing this really is a simulation.
No.
Time to do a little trolling.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Well, if he hadn't done that, Car was going to start like trying to eject the warp core or something. Just he was like, maybe I need to just get myself in the brig.
Meanwhile, I accidentally busted 1 billion Borgs in a tiny ass one, and then.
All right.
That was good. That was good. Car approves.
All right, I'm gonna go now. I'll send you a message, a couple messages real quick, and then I gotta go. So see ya.
Alright, I'll leave too. Bye.